80-degree-ish day better are just dogs walking all over the streets of Portland.
I know. Something to look forward to, right? Warmer temperatures and dogs. But you got to start thinking about our four-legged friends going out on those walks, because the sidewalks, the asphalt, definitely starting to heat up, especially when we're talking about summer-like heat right now. Temperatures back up into the 80s. A beautiful live look here across our area. Those high, thin cirrus clouds marching their way back on shore as we do anticipate a big cool down to start to work its way back into our area over the next 24 hours. But just look at these summer-like conditions. Upper 70s out towards Corvallis, low 80s for Salem, mid 80s finding their way back into the Portland, Vancouver area, as low 70s are also enjoyed out along the shoreline, with our satellite and radar just showing those high, thin cirrus clouds pushing their way from the west to the east. That's all part of our prefrontal clouds, with this next cold front already developing and sweeping its way right across the Pacific Northwest and eventually ending up into the Pacific Northwest. But for our showers past forecast, that's where we expect our temperatures to start to cool back into the mid 70s. Yeah, that's a cool down comparatively speaking to the mid 80s we're enjoying right now, with those greenbacks to go for the rest of this evening as our sunset is close to 8:25. The ridge of high pressure, that is the culprit for the warming trend that we are currently undergoing as we prepare for this cold front to sweep its way through our area. Now, by the time it actually moves inland, it's really going to start to fizzle out overhead, just leaving behind cloud coverage and slightly cooler temperatures as we work our way into Wednesday. But it's Thursday into Friday and eventually into the weekend that this next cold front will bring back maybe a slim chance for a few isolated sprinkles. With this third system, we got them all starting to line up out over the Pacific. Will eventually bring back more widespread accumulative rain by the start of next week. So here's our futurecast, increasing that cloud coverage for the overnight hours tonight. Maybe starting off with a light drizzle for the coast to start the day tomorrow. Expected to stay mostly dry through the Willamette Valley until we get to your evening commute tomorrow. Picking up on just a few scattered light rain showers, not amounting to very much at all as we quickly dry out our skies moving into Thursday morning. Still left with the mostly cloudy skies with a few sun rays starting to poke their way back through. All right, rain accumulation, there you go, lackluster. If anything, we'll see the greatest amounts fall over the high terrain of the foothills of the Cascades, but those up and down the I-5 corridor, maybe a raindrop or two to a couple of 1/100ths of an inch, and slightly greater amounts closer to a 1/10 of an inch found along the coast, which is good news, especially when we see ourselves here across much of western Oregon, southwest Washington, falling back to the abnormally dry conditions. So technically we're not in a drought right now, but we are a step closer to that moderate drought condition. Now, with our lawns really starting to grow rapidly with those warmer temperatures, you got a good window Thursday and Friday to take care of the front and backyard as we anticipate the wet weather to put a bit of a damper on those mower blades. 52 degrees, that's where we expect to fall to tonight with increasing clouds, winds out of the northwest at about 5 to 10. All right, here's what's on tap for tomorrow, falling back into the mid to upper 50s for the coastline, the I-5 corridor, increased cloud coverage, temperatures about 10 degrees cooler compared to what we are experiencing right now with those highs in the mid 80s. Still warm as that cold front approaches the eastern half of the state, but 80 is likely for places like Pendleton. And we'll also increase that cloud coverage up in elevation as the melting temperatures still persist. All right, moms, your day is quickly approaching. We do expect to see a few scattered showers for Mother's Day this Sunday. That is your friendly reminder to get things put together for mom. You got a few days left as those temperatures come with some ups and downs over the next 7 days. All right, we'll push ourselves closer to 80 degrees by Friday, and then we start to cool things off for much of next week, moving our way into the middle of May, seeing the return of the wet weather. Yeah, maybe less than ideal for the timing at the end of our weekend, Mom's Day, but we desperately need to see the rain to kind of keep the drought at bay.
Yeah, so good news for Mother Nature, maybe not so good for some other moms.
yeah, so at least one mom's getting something,
at least
right?
one mom wins, the most important one of all, arguably. Josh, thank you.
Yeah.